in the second video, please watch the first video because I don't feel like reiterating. So I went through, I left, and now I'm at Gimel. If you're a Hebrew, you know what I'm saying. I went through the first part. Now I'm on Gimel, which is the third part of my explanation of the timeline that we're on here. Okay, so we already just did everything else, prove how all of these times add up to the same time in Roman history with Alexander the Greek and them. The Romans came through Jerusalem, taking the siege of Jerusalem. Even Ezekiel talks about it. It literally says the siege of Jerusalem in Ezekiel, you know. So just letting you know, all of this stuff, the big deal was occurring during the siege, during the time of Alexander the Greek. The Romans were coming through trying to take over everybody, which is why Africa, we say, oh, Africa, not even realizing Scipio Africanus was a Greek general. He was a Roman soldier, and he changed the land of Canaan to the land of to Africa. So we up here saying Africa as if that's the original name of it. It's not. Just like America. Oh, we're in America. Well, America is not. Yeah, you could say America, but that's not even a proper term either, because America Vespucci, who was a Greek, also came over here and tried to take the land. Even the moon. You can't even say it's the moon no more. You come through the moon, an alien or a UFO come by the moon right here. They're like, what the? How do you get an American flag on the moon? Like, it's tripping. So how you own the moon now? So it's like that's the same thing that's going on. Everybody, just humans, just want power so much that you got to go to the moon and put your flag on it just to try to make a point to the whole small little puny planet that we live on. You know what I'm saying? We just a blip in the sky, just like we see blips in the sky, the little lights. Oh, the lights are shining bright tonight. From the lights, we look like lights. So we just small and puny too. Yet every creation of the Messiah or the Most High is equally important. You know, who is man that he's mindful of us? But at the same time, who is all creation that he's mindful of to create anything? So he's mindful of all of us. So we shall be humble. But at the same time, understand that he loves us too. You know, keep a balance with it. Don't think you're worthless and don't think you're too much. Keep a balance. So going back to Gimel, Matthew 1:17 proves that 14 generations 3 times equals 42. So in Matthew 1:17, it says that you know, from Abraham to so and so was 14, from so and so was 14, so and so was 14. It did that 3 times. So I didn't say the names and do all that because I want you to focus on the 3. Why I said it 3 times. So you have 14 generations spoken 3 times, which gives you 42 if you times that. Okay, and that's 42 generations. A generation, as we went in the first video, is 100 years. The same thing as a century, which is 100 years. 42 times 100 gives you 4,200. And that's where you'll get, you have to count now. 4,200 years. Is that accurate? Let's see. Is generation really 100? So from here, the reason why I put it here is because Abraham was born right after the flood, 9 sons later. And 9 sons later, Noah and Shem were still alive. You know, that's how we learnt the ways of the Most High, through Noah and Shem, you know, when he was 10 years old. So he was hiding from Nimrod. So he hid from Nimrod, but he hid at Noah and Shem. So I don't care who you are, I don't care how tough you are, you're not going to mess with Noah and Shem. Like, Nimrod was the toughest, but he's not going over there messing with Noah. No, I ain't not going to touch Noah, shorty. That's Noah, shorty. You know, that's how it is. So he went to hide out at Noah's place and learned the ways of the Most High from Shem and Noah together. They were the priests at the time. That was after the order of Melchizedek, or the order of Shem. Shem had 2 names. Shem, and his name was also Melchizedek, or Melchizedek as we call it. So that's the priesthood after the order of Melchizedek, which is the appropriate way to say it. So Abraham learned from them, so that's right next to it. That's why I put it right next to the other circle, the flood, because 9 sons later, here we are, right there. So 42 generations from Abraham to the Messiah. And so when we count 1, 2, 3, 4, give or take some years, we either here or right next to here. But we're in here. We're in between 11 and 12, and not close to 11. We're more so in the middle. So that would give you 4,200 years. And it said that the Messiah was on the scene. Now, some say that 3,900 and so on, the year 3,998 BC, the Messiah was born. But it said 42 generations. So we'll see once I go further whether it was 1530 when the flood happened, or 1050 when the flood happened. We're going to see. You know, it's debatable whether it was 1530 or 1000, and you'll see why I'm saying that later. So, in between here was when the Messiah was, on the scene. In between, 3000, late 3000, 4000. He on the scene. Lived for 33 years, between 33, 37 years. They crucified him. They couldn't handle the truth. It was too strong, so they had to get him out of there because he was making everybody look stupid, convicting everybody. And so they had to get him out of there. Also, they said he was blaspheming. That's why he died. Oh, he tried to make himself equal with the Father. That's why they killed him. So, bottom line, he is equal with the Father. Because that's what he died for, that's what he is. If he wasn't lying and he said he made himself equal with the Father, then that means he is equal with the Father. Meaning, so you can call him Yahweh too. He's just Yahweh Ben, or Ben Yahweh, before he came in the flesh. So, all of that is adding up. He wasn't just a mere man. He's actually the creator. He helped create us. Okay, no angel helped create us either. So some people teach that. The angels didn't help create us. They was created in the third day. The reason they were created in the third day is so that nobody can say that the angels that the Most High created helped creation. No. That's why they did that. Also, he left part of the earth unfinished. Like the North Pole is not connected to anything else in the planet. It's just floating on water. You know what I'm saying? Just gravity's holding it in or whatever. But it's not connected to anything else in the planet. Like the ground underneath is not connected. So he left it undone. So that anybody that try to call himself the creator, or any deity, Satan, devil, try to call himself the one, the Most High, the power that created the earth, they have to prove that by finishing the top or finishing the North Pole, connecting it to everything else. So they can get some heat and won't be frozen cold all the time. But anyway, I proved that. So these three things that I went through, Aleph, Bet, and Gimel, which is the third one, and that proves altogether that the Messiah came on the scene around, in the middle of 11,000. But since, like I said in the first video, we split it into 14 split in half, or 12 split in half. So then by the Sabbath Millennium, when the flood happened, you start over back at 1. Just like 7 days of the week, you start over back at 1. That's how it happened here. When Noah, the flood and the waters descended and everything, he said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. Letting you know we starting over here. Because that was the first commandment he gave Adam too. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. Then here he said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. So he started over. And then we ended up here between 4,000 and 4,200. The Messiah's on the scene. Now this is where I said that Kent Hovind was wrong. 4,400 years from the Messiah, from the flood to today. It's not 4,400 years. It's actually 6,000. So if you just stick basically and say 4,200 from Abraham to the Messiah, and 2,000, or we in the 20th century today, then that's 42 times what? 20. And that gives you 62, between 62 and 63. That's added together if you don't say AD and BC, which confuses you. But if you just say 42, times 20 gives you 6,200. And that's what I'm saying. Century is the same thing as a generation. So that gives us 2,000, 1, 2. So we're in this time. 2,000 years later. 65, give or take, 62, 65, and then 14 is here. So we still have a lot of time. We'll be dead before we even get to the 14. But look how close we are to the end. And this 8 is important too. We're getting to that. So yep, that's that right there. The reason why we don't throw the AD and BC in is because it confuses you from the original split. You're supposed to know just the Sabbath. That's the time frame. Remember the Shabbat to keep it set apart. Now, I'm going back to that for a reason. The reason why I say Zakar, remember, is because we would forget something that happened on Shabbat. It wasn't saying remember as in we would forget. Yeah, that too, but it wasn't saying remember as in we forget when they was given it. Because before they was given the Sabbath day, they actually was keeping the Sabbath day through the hand of Moses. Because Moses, when he started realizing who he was, and he learned all of the ways of his people through the woman that was raising him, she secretly taught him his culture and his ways. So he knew a whole lot You know, he was smarter than the astrologers and all. He was wiser than everybody. You know, read that in the book of Yasha. He was wiser than everybody. So he also knew the ways of his people once he woke up and realized, like, these are my people. And before he killed the man, he actually asked Pharaoh to give them the seventh day off. Like, give them a rest day. You know, they work all week. Give them a day of rest, the seventh day. Then they knew about the Sabbath day. We always knew about the Sabbath day. They always. That's why I say remember, because we always knew. It was always that. They had the Sabbath day even in the garden. You know, the Garden of Eden. It was still Sabbath day, because on Sabbath day, you know, Adam had the ability to see to every height of heaven. He could see through every heaven just by standing on this planet. He could look up in the sky and see all the way to the seventh heaven that you can't even see because it's not even in this dimension. So basically, he had the ability to see through dimensions just by standing in one spot and looking up in the sky. And he can watch the angels dancing and singing and rapping or whatever, because you know rapping ain't new. It was there too. So poetry, all of that. He was doing it, you know, instruments and everything. The horns and what's that movie? Close Encounter. The old school Close Encounter movie when they had the lights. They was doing that and stuff. They was making the little music, making the message like and all the different lights, looking like a Simon Says board. You know, making and I'm like, hey, but they talking, but they praising the Most High, doing the same thing. Everybody praising the Most High in their own way. So that's what it was. The cherubim was more like instruments and stuff like that, just praising the Most High. All of that is everything that you could think of. So that's what he used to watch, and he used to enjoy them on Shabbat, you know, praising him. And they would praise him during the night, during the evening hour, or, you know, and they would praise him during the day hour. So in the day, we praise the Most High. In the night, they leave and praise the Most High. That's even how Eve got. Because in the night, you know, when they left, when the Malachim would leave to go praise the Most High, she was left alone. So they knew that. The Malachim that protected Eve would leave, you know, towards the cool of the day. Every time, you know, and she was like unprotected. That's how she even got by the serpent, because he knew the time frame, he knew the schedule. So anyway, going back to, so it says Zakar, remember the Shabbat. So that's what it's saying. We must remember it for a more critical reason. Yes, we remember it to keep it undefiled. Now we remember it for a more critical reason for our planet, because this is the day of destruction, or rather when the Most High comes and visit us. You know, he comes to visit us, and if he's not seeing things going on, he's going to clean the earth up, if you know what I mean. He's going to exterminate some bugs. You know, the exterminator. That's what Sabbath means if you look in the Hebrew lexicon. It means extermination as well as rest. So he's going to exterminate some bugs, some evil, in order to get rest from, you know, that's how it is. You're just not going to sit in a room that's dirty. On Saturday, you're going to clean it up, or else you can't get rest, because the funk is just like, you know, you can't chill or nothing. You know, just like when you try to go to sleep and you didn't play the big game of basketball and you sweating and all that, you can't just go to sleep comfortably. You sweating, skin sticky. No, you need to get the dirt off you, get the evil off you, clean up, and then once you get cleaned up, you can comfortably go to sleep. You know, that's what that's saying. You know, clean your sheets and all that too. That's what it's saying. So it's more like a cleaning crew is going to come through the Elohim, or the Kadosh Elohim, which came through the first time, which is what the rainbow is for. 7 colors in the rainbow is symbolizing 7 powers, which make up one Elohim, one Kadosh Elohim. So that's what's going on here. So that's what the rainbow is about. Just Satan takes everything that's pure and make it evil. So today, the rainbow is symbolizing homosexuality. The star of Molech is symbolized, the star of the Messiah is symbolized as the star of Molech, you know. So the star in the east is looked at as evil as well, when that's the symbol. And that's why I don't think the star is really evil. They're just making it evil now. The way they're making it is making it evil. So it turns out that it's a complete different star. And also the rainbow. People don't wear rainbow colors on them or wear rainbow bands on them, because once you in this country, a rainbow symbolizes homosexuality. So a person that's straight is not going to rock a rainbow. You know, if you support homosexuality, you might wear it too. But in today's time, we don't rock it, because Satan just switched the pureness and made it evil. So that's how you know that if Satan takes anything and makes it evil, it's pretty much something that we're supposed to really have or know about. Also, The word gay, just like the word gay used to mean happy, now it means homosexual. So you can't even say gay. Like if you try to teach English to somebody and try to teach them words out of a dictionary, don't give them the vocabulary word gay and say it means happy, and then don't tell him what else it means before he get to America or something like that. He get to America like, yeah, I'm gay. And they like, whoa, shorty, he come from wherever he come from in another country, learning English, talking some I'm gay because he was taught that it meant happy, but he come over to America and gay means homosexual. So it's things are so different and twisted now. So anyway, what else I wanted to get into? The number. Oh no, let's getting here. Better sheet, the numbers. Okay, why did I come up to 1530 and all of that? It's debatable between 1050 and 1530 because when you look in the book of Yasher, your 5:6 right here, it said that Noach was 480 when all of the forefathers were dead before the flood happened. That means Adam, and everybody, Enos, Lamech, everybody, Seth, everybody was dead by the time Hanak was 480, except for Methuselah, because Methuselah was helping them kill spirits and demons. Only 2 spirits got on the ark. I forgot their names, but it was 2 spirits, that got on the ark with Noach, as well as 1 giant, which is how we get Og, and which is how we get Goliath today, because 1 giant survived. He hung on to the ark because he was a right ruling giant. He didn't, he was right like that. The 1 giant survived, 2 spirits survived. Other beasts, they levitated into heaven, UFOs, they had technology, got out of there. Atlantis, I'm pretty sure probably, I don't know if that was during that time too, but Atlantis flooded. That might be the time when the city of Atlantis flooded too. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just, saying, I'm just throwing that's an opinion. It's not actually what I know. But 480, my point is when that happened. So let's say, so when I said 930, I was assuming, one assumption was that Adam died when Noach was 480. So if that's the case, then it's going to be 1050. Because you're going to have 120 years left by the time Noach is 600, as in Better Sheet 7:6 says that he was 600 by the time he got on the ark. So if you say, 100, he died at when Noach was 480, then you add 120 to that. 930 plus 120 gives you 1050. But I didn't put that because I don't know if I didn't know. It doesn't really say. I don't have all the information. So what I stuck to was 1530. I stuck to 1530, assuming that Adam died before Noach was born, or just as Noach was being born, Adam died, and I came up to 1530. So that's how I was getting it. With 930 plus 480 giving me 1530, which leaves us in the middle. But I don't know. 1015. Everything seems to add up to the scriptures when it's at 1530, or when Adam dying before Noah was on the scene. Just as Noah was on the scene, or just being born and stuff like that. Because Adam was alive when Lamech was alive, Noah's father, and he went to Lamech and tried to get his wives back and stuff like that. So he was alive during that time. So I'm uncertain. But I just stuck to 1530. So that's something you can play with, debate on, and research on. But I kept it 1530. But it's still going to be between 7 and 7. It's still in the Sabbath Millennium, regardless. It's going to always be in the Sabbath Millennium. So the point is, every Sabbath, there's going to be a destruction, a flood of some kind. That's what it always is. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it set apart. So that's why we remember to keep it undefiled. Because in 6 days he created the heaven and the earth and everything that's in it. And the 7th day he rested from everything. He hallowed it. He sanctified it. How do you do that? Washing it. That's how you sanctify something. And the earth was hollow. It was landless. It had land, but it was landless. More went back to like muddy and stuff like that. Because even in California, when it rained hard for like a few hours, you get big, huge mudslides. So imagine if the whole joint is full of water, you're going to have mud again. Which is why the atheist and the Darwin theory is partially right. The earth was a biochemical soup, because the word earth in Hebrew means transitory thing. And transitory thing defines as matter, as in liquid, solids, gases. Meaning it's just a big, huge chemistry ball of liquid and stuff, and gases and solids. It was a biochemical soup. So when he said, let there be light, light is fire. So fire melts things if it's hot enough. You know, if you pick gold that's hard, pick gold in the metal or metal in the fire that's real hot, it melts. And then when you cool it down, it hardens again into the shape that you molded it in. So when he said, let there be light, that was fire, melting everything down. It wasn't just a light switch, like, let there be light. Flick, the light switch came on. No, let there be light. As in another scripture said that, Legends of the Yehudi said that, he told the light to come forth hard. So basically, that was Shekinah. And the Messiah was with the Shekinah, and the 7 Ruachim or Rakamim was with him. They all came together, go forth hard, into the visible. From the invisible to the visible, come forth hard. So that means when they said, let there be light, it was a big explosion. Everything is flying and fast. And he said he was awesome in creation because he halted the creation, because stuff was just flying all over the place, and he halted it. And he reversed the spins of things, like, meaning he would have certain planets spinning one way and another planet spinning another way, so that you know that it wasn't just a big bang, like it just happened sporadically. It was an intelligence, meaning it was the creator came through and everything just came forth strong. Everything moving out of the way because you came through so hard. You know, like you walk past somebody and the wind blow, you can knock some paper off the refrigerator that's hanging up if you're moving too fast or moving too hard. Same difference. So when he came forth so hard, it's like he came at the speed of the rainbow light. Like that's how fast he was coming, that the colors of the rainbow shine forth. And those were the actual energies of the Ruachim, or the 7 Ruachim that came with him. And Shekinah, he set Shekinah above him. And the 7 Ruachim, he set foundations for them, which is 7 heavens. And he rested in the 7th. And Shekinah is above him. And the Father is in the invisible, not even in this realm. You know, some may call it the Milky Way. I don't know. Is where he at. But I don't know, because the Milky Way is pretty far away. But I don't know. I don't think that's it. We can't see the 7th heaven from here. It's in a whole other dimension. So I don't think that that's where he's living at. You know, where we can see him and just, whoa, look at the Milky Way. No, we wouldn't be able to see him. So with physical eyes, and he lives in a place where it's invisible. You only can see him in the ruach, in the spirit. You know, unless he manifests himself. But anyway, that's that. So basically, that's why we remember the Sabbath day and everything like that. And that's how atheists were right during the creation. You know, in part, you know, the biochemical soup and the Big Bang was pretty much accurate, but they just leaving some hints out, like the Creator is dealing with all of this. They left it all out, but they were right though, in that sense. So Christians be like, it wasn't a Big Bang, it wasn't a biochemical soup, he created it. Now, when they said we developed from different animals, like, you know, evolution, that's wrong. I mean, only evolution that exists is microevolution. Actually, I'm not even going to say that, because Nebuchadnezzar transformed into a werewolf. So that's not really not evolution. That's more so the Most High is just changing the DNA in your makeup, and you just transform. I mean, that's how much power he got. He just changed you and transformed you because you know, did something crazy or something. So that's what happened to Nebuchadnezzar, one of the kings in the Babylonian captivity with Daniel and the lions and Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, or Hananiah, Azariah, Mishael, when they were in there. So he transformed him into a werewolf, and he lived off the land and stuff like a dog or like a wolf, until he learned that the Most High was the creator, and then he transformed him back into a man, and then he got back on his throne. So yeah, evolution can happen, but not like drastically. The Most High is doing it. Like certain people, and actually this is true, certain people in the earth before the flood, or I think it was it before or after, they transformed into apes. So that's true. They transformed into apes. So they didn't look like humans no more, but they look like apes now. So he transformed them themselves, and they became a whole different species of mankind, or whatever they call apes now. But the Most High transformed them to look like apes. They had ape faces and stuff, and hair was real hairy and swinging. That's true. That's actually true. That's scriptural. The Most High did that to a certain group of people in the planet for their sins, and another group of people he transformed them to make them look like something. But anyway, that might be where you get Bigfoot in them at anyway. But if it's not Bigfoot, it's monkeys. If it's not monkeys, it's Bigfoot. Either or. But basically, the number 8 right here comes in because the 8th millennium in the book of the Secrets of Enoch says that I think I wrote it down here. Let me see if I wrote it down here. I wrote it down here. All right. Now, the Secrets of Enoch, which is here, hit the 5th one. I wrote 2 down here for you. 33 and 5 is the one. But then I wrote another special one for you to let you know the name of the fallen ones that came, what species they were, and it gives you a hint, a clue to which heaven they came from. And the heaven they came from has a planet that they live on and the name of the planet that they live on. And if you want to do your research, you can go find it. But they came, I'll tell you that they came from the 5th heaven. Debatable 5th between 5th and 2nd. But they came from a higher heaven. And they had technology to come down here. And they were the ones that came down too. So, you know, that scripture, that's 18. I mean 33, sorry, 18 and 5 is the one about the, excuse me, I have hiccups. 18 and 5 is the one about the giants. And this is Chanok, or Chanok. It's supposed to be a dot here, excuse me. Chanok, actually, Seekers of Chanok. And Seekers of Chanok 33 and 1 says this: and I appointed the 8th day also, that the 8th day should be the first created after my work. He's talking about the end of the world. After his work, which is us, we're his work. After his work, which is us, the 8th day, the 8th millennium, he created. You know, and that the first 7 revolve in the form of the 7,000. So the first 7 revolve in the form of the 7,000, and then in there he destroyed us, and then the 8th, give or take some years. That's why he said the day shall be shortened in the end. You know, shorter in the end, because he stopped things in the middle somewhere. And then the 8th really much starts a new week, just like the 7 days and then you start back at 1. But the 8th is the first created. But this time, it's not going to start back at 1. He's not giving us a second chance. There's only 2 floods that was prophesied by Adam. That is going to be a flood of fire and a flood of water. That's why Seth built 2 pillars. Seth built 2 pillars, which were actually defined as 2 pyramids. He built 2 pyramids. You know, one in Turkey somewhere, and another one in Egypt, which during Seth's time, all of that was the land of Seth, or the land of Seer, his sons. That's why when you say you're a seer, you're in the line of Seth. You come from the line of Seth, the seers, meaning you had visions, dreams, prophecies. They were called seers before they were called prophets. So if you were a son of Seth, you were called a seer. You could see future events and stuff like that. And you had knowledge of the heavens and stuff like that, and you was just nice with it. So basically, Seth, the land of Seir, was extended from Egypt to Turkey. And what happened was he built 3 pyramids in Egypt, which connected to Orion, which connects to a species that lived in Orion, that comes down and descend. As we know that the Messiah himself said, this day you shall see Malachim, or angels, descending and ascending upon the Son of Man. Also, it happened to Jacob. He saw angels descending upon him and things when he was asleep. You see it in the Ruach, like UFOs and stuff like it. It looked like a dream, but it's not. But anyway, they descend and stuff like that. And what happens is there wouldn't really be a ladder. That's pretty much a beam me up Scotty type of thing. So when the angels descend, they're not descending on literal ladders like steps. They descending, you know, from beams of light. And basically, that's what he said. So let me, get back to this. He said, so the 8,000 there should be a time of not counting. So basically, 7,000 years, and this actually says 7,000 in the Secrets of Enoch, chapter 33, verse 1. It says, in 7,000 years he started everything back over at 1, or the 8th. And so the 8,000 there should be a time of not counting, endless, with neither years nor months nor weeks nor days nor hours. So that's telling you, the end of the world, the Most High is coming down. And how do we get years, months, weeks, days, and hours? Yeah, we have the calendar of Chanakh, but how do we assess it? We assess it through the sun, moon, and the stars. So when the Most High comes, he's going to outshine everything. So it's going to be daytime all the time, no shadows, no nothing, which is how we tell time. No sun revolution, and we won't be able to tell. It'll be eternity. And that's where it is. And sideways, you get the infinity sign, which means infinity, endless, not counting. And over here, I had a joke, I might not get it. Why does the infinity sign look like this? Because when 7, 8, 9, he ended up knocking 8 down. And then we get infinity. So since there is no number after 8, because 7, 8, 9, we just stop at 8. And there's no more time. Which leaves us at Enoch 33:1. Alright, so that's a little joke for you, but a truth and a little joke. Alright, so with that said, that's it. That's Shabbat Shalom. Or rather, that's just Shabbat, not Shabbat Shalom. That's Shabbat. That's Shalom, not Shabbat Shalom. Forgive me.